Good morning, everyone. I say good morning because I'm filming this one Sunday morning. So we are sipping and strolling. It's just coffee this time in my favorite mug, which is not as much because it's a Great Dixter mug, although that is part of the reason I love it. And also because it was personally given to me by Fergus Garrett when he came to speak at our event several years ago. But it's just a very good bone china mug. I think I've told you guys this before. I am trying to... it's been a long road. There was a shop set up. You had to get whatever. Anyway, I want to give you guys Impatient Gardener mugs made from this exact mug because it's such a good mug. It's my absolute favorite. Okay. Edited garden stroll for today. I'm going to start with a little bit of viewer mail for sharing some garden inspiration that you guys have all had. Thank you for doing that. Here is a beautiful postcard here. Dear Erin, love your channel and your gardens. You are so inspirational. Your sense of humor keeps me laughing while learning. Thank you. Thank you for understanding my sometimes quirky, possibly dry and or weird sense of humor. I appreciate that. The photo on the left is from the 2024 Newport, Rhode Island Flower Show. The photo on the right is from the Blue Garden, which is thebluegarden.org, also in Newport. I love Newport. I've been there a few times. And I would love to get out to that summer flower show. It's basically the worst timing in the world for me to go anywhere. So it could be a long time before I get there, but I would love to go. Oh, look at this. All right. Okay, this is from Danielle. And, oh, this is amazing. Okay, so look at these beautiful pictures. I think this is Phlomis right here. Actually, I think she's going to name this plant for me in the middle. Look at all these pictures. Clipdaga. Clipdaga. Not Phlomis. This plant is a hummingbird magnet. Scan the QR codes on the back to see more. Seeds from starfish honey. Wow, look at this. Very cool. Thank you for sharing this. Here's another picture. And I'm going to, Danielle's address is at the top, so I'm just going to cover that up. So here's the QR codes, you guys. You can scan those. Right now, I'll just hold this up to the screen so you can scan those if you guys want to see that video. Very cool. Thank you, Danielle. Amazing. I got to look into that plant. It's new to me. Ooh, and I just dropped the card over the railing. Okay, we will go fetch that. I almost did that last week, too. It's almost as though stacking stuff up on the railing of the deck isn't a good idea. Okay, last one here. Hello, Erin. Last year, I was fortunate to be able to share with you pictures from my visit to England. I am doubly fortunate to have been able to visit Scotland this year. I really tried to find postcards, but they are virtually non-existent and rarely of the garden. So I'm sharing a few pictures. It is an amazing country. Thank you for your down to... Oh, I'm just going to share some of these as we go along here. See? The railing is trying to eat everything. Thank you for your down-to-earth and honest approach to gardening. I very much enjoy the unedited sip and strolls. They so often mirror my own situations. I also feel a bit of pain your pain having been gone from my garden for 2 weeks. Thanks for all you do. This is Mary, who you can find at Pockets of Mayhem. I assume that's Instagram. This is a one-stop shop. Beautiful castle with extensive tour, many stunning gardens, a wood walk, a river walk, and Highland cows. Let me just turn this way. This is inside the walled garden. This kitchen garden is the ultimate combination of design and function, order and beauty. It also has stunning borders and an entire wall of espalier fruit trees. Oh, God, a walled garden. I mean, listen, a walled garden has no business here. It would look completely wrong. But boy, would a walled garden be amazing for all the reasons. Here's some of those espalier trees. And especially in Wisconsin, I bet you could grow things in a walled garden that you would never be able to grow anywhere else. Oh my gosh, is this gorgeous. Palace of Holy Road House Gardens, home to the annual garden party. Beautiful grounds and borders, but set behind large, keep off the grass areas and paths that public can walk on. The most inspiring, breathtaking views were of the heath-covered highlands. Chef's kiss, she says. Yeah, heath loves acidic soil. Cannot ever grow it here. Here being Wisconsin, where we don't have acidic soil. Falkland Castle, just one of the many gardens that we saw that have borrowed your El Camino border idea. Yes, I'm sure they got that from me. Definitely, it's the only possible explanation of how we could have that. Balmoral Sunken Gardens, Celtic Ballroom Maze Gardens in progress with Intarsia panels. One of several new plantings features by Charles. Beautiful, look at that. Charles, that would be the king. Look, she sent seeds. Wildflower mix, Balmoral Gardeners. Oh my gosh, thank you. How special is that? How fun, meadow seed mix. Love it. Thank you so much, Mary. That was amazing. And gosh, what a treat to be able to go check out Scotland. Mary, if you are watching this and you see this, I would love to know if you had to pick one of those two places, would you choose England or Scotland to visit? Or which would you go to first if you were advising someone to go somewhere? Okay, that's the mail. Let's look at the garden. I have about 30% battery left. Can we film this tour in one battery? We will see. Let's check out up here. Ignore the grill, which is moved out because we grilled last night. And the silver umbrella Aurelia is entering the area, entering the grilling area. Oh, shit. Sorry, I managed to break my microphone, and now I'm gonna have to kind of like hang it. Okay, anyway, what I was saying is the silver, you can see how it's hanging over the railing here. And I mean, listen, I planted this thing from a 1-foot plant in 2016. And I cannot believe how much this thing has grown, particularly given that so many people tell me they find it very difficult to grow. I do think I'm gonna have to prune off this branch for the future because obviously it's encroaching. And I guess we're gonna have to prune a little bit of the stairs. But I will tell you that, it's so wild to be in a garden where, when you plant things, you spend so much time waiting for them to grow. And then all of a sudden it gets to the point where like, oh wow, now I have to prune that. It's just a very strange mind shift. You saw containers in my video this week, if you saw my video container maintenance. By the way, I just want to say, my houseplants are so abused. The ficus is rebounding so well, putting out some nice leaves. It was damn near dead when I brought it out this year. And I did want to show you this plant because the datura has grown so much just in like the last week. It is looking really, really good. I had some questions about datura being poisonous. It is. That said, I pick flowers off it all the time. I touch it. I don't worry about it. It hasn't killed me yet. I started some things from seed here. What was this now? 3 weeks ago? This is my attempt to get some zinnias. So probably what I should do, because I do see some roots kind of just barely popping out the bottom of these trays. I probably either got to put those out or pot them up, which is kind of a pain. I just don't necessarily trust that the deer or the rabbits rather, will not get to these. I don't know. I think they'd be fine if I put them in garden beds like this, if it weren't for the rabbits. So maybe I will either figure out a way to protect them from the rabbits if possible, or perhaps I'll pot them up. The cosmos are looking quite good. Some of these are going to go in the cutting beds of the vegetable garden too, where they're theoretically safe, so maybe not a problem there. Okay, let's roll. By the way, I always love how the limelights, this was intended, this is why I planted them here, but pop up on this side of the railing. Okay, let's roll. Well, first of all, I'm a sucker for Salvia argentea when mixed with ageratum, even though that ageratum is flopping a little bit. You can't go wrong with blue ever, personally, but I do love that combination. This is Mexican fleabane, which I grew from seed. It was hard to grow from seed, and it did nothing for a long time, but now it's finally blooming, and I love it. I wish it were easier to grow. By the way, I'm sure if you are in a warm place where this is basically a weed, you're like, what are you talking about? It's everywhere. I would love to grow it all along the edge of this path here. I just can't get enough of it going and it just now started doing something. So We have some dahlia activity. Here is Pam Howden. This is a new one for me this year, a water lily form. She's pretty. She's very pretty. We got a lot of, I always put Crichton honey in the front here because I do love it. It's probably my favorite. Trying to show you things we didn't see the last couple of weeks here. I've been working on this corner. I think I mentioned that last week. Sorry, the sun's going to be problematic now. It was nice and cloudy when I first came out here. So what I've done in this corner is, first of all, there's a big eucomis here. Sparkling burgundy, I believe. And the alliums were here. This is, I couldn't tell you the botanical name of it, but it's curly onion. What I've done is I've come in here with black scallop ajuga and some dichondra silver falls. And hopefully this whole area is just going to kind of mix in with that. I don't know, I try something new all the time here, and I like something kind of simple in this corner. Also, there was this stick, was a new clematis, which the rabbits ate off. I'm leaving it there because presumably it will come back next year. Most of them do. But it was brand new this year. It had like 4 inches of growth on it before the rabbits came and got it. The dahlias that I showed you that I transplanted is doing great. Flowering. I mean, this was one that I transplanted like a week and a half ago, and I told you, like, let's see if it works before you do it. Well, so far it's working really well. Seems happy. Things seem generally happy over here. I mean, these dahlias have been going from the get-go here. So they're very happy. Where are we going to go today? Last week I mentioned that I might be running down to Northwind, which I did. And so I've been planted some of the stuff I bought. But mostly what I got was stuff to fill in areas. So like the echinaceas, I'm going to put those in. Actually, all this row right here is for Roy's garden to fill in some holes that have kind of happened. So I thought we needed some more white echinacea in there. This is Dischampia gold tau. Those are going to go in there. Oh, there's some salvias I have in there too, as well as some Nepeta Neptune. And then these are some asters that are going to go in a different garden. But, oh, look, it's blooming already. I have to look up on my phone what this is, but that's quite pretty. And I got a few other things. And then we got, this is Pachysandra, the native Pachysandra, which I greatly, I don't like the Japanese, the shiny Pachysandra. I don't care for that one at all. But I like this one. So this is kind of ground covery stuff. And then I got various caryxes. This is Plantaginia, which it looks so good over in the garden, so I want to get more of that. Caryx woodii and Caryx montana. And then this is a Nepeta that is really low growing and blooms white. So we'll see how we like that. I thought it'd be good for along a path somewhere. I'm always looking for those kinds of plants. Okay, I cleaned out this bed. And I feel much better about it. This was a depressing bed to me. Several years ago, I kind of tried to simplify the planting here and really take it down to just a few plants. And it wasn't, well, the same concept is there. I just lost some things. So what I did was I pruned up, there is some Sanguisorba here. I'd have to look up which one. It's a pretty big one. Some of the leaves were quite flopping on it, so I pruned those up a little bit. And then I added in some more. This is Calamintha Montrose White right along the front of the tough stuffs here. And I love that plant, and I just think it's very ethereal. So what I did was I got some more of those, planted those in here and throughout. And then the allium you see here is Big Beauty. It's very floppy. It's kind of, I mean, we're probably pushing it on the sun here. This is not as much sun as I always think it is. Even though it's west exposure, there's a very large maple tree that has something to say about the sun. But I did pick up some more alliums at Northwind. And this is Allium shortii, which I believe is one that Roy found, popped up as a seedling, and he sells it now. And I have some of that in the garden that he designed for me as well. But I thought the combination would be nice, a little texture in there. I'd like this whole area to be filled in with I mean, there's peonies there, which I've cut back a little bit. I'd like this whole area to just be filled in with alliums and calamintha and call it a day, honestly. Oh, we had some serious floppage with the rain last week, which is bound to happen, of course. I guess I don't mind it. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't mind it either. Also, the heads on these, I mean, this is Annabelle. Normally, Annabelle does not get flowers that are this big. That's like an incredible sized flower. It's kind of nuts to me that they got that big. Some of these garden beds are sort of on the agenda, so just bear with me. You guys know the drill here. Look, I see some Crocosmia blooming. That's quite exciting. I grew those from bulbs this year, so that's very exciting. The Helenium in here is just starting to bloom, and when this gets going, I think this one's Salsa Fuego. When this gets blooming, it looks so pretty in here. This is kind of supposed to be hot colors. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't necessarily come back all the time, and so you don't know what you're left with until things start blooming. I'm going to come in here. The Astrantia has, you know, done its thing, so I guess I'm going to cut back the Astrantia. I'll probably cut back the Stackies, Bethany here, because those things are starting to look a little straggly. Obviously, I've got jewelweed everywhere. Thank God jewelweed is so easy to pull. I'm adding more. Some of those plants that I got at Northwind are going into this garden, which is, she says, as it's fully in the sun, a shade garden, basically. I got some more of this Carex, I think it's just Carex variegata. I got some more of that. You can see those in pots. I haven't planted those in here yet. And I think this is where I got a few more of the Autumn Bride heucheras. And I think this is where I'm going to put the plant I just showed you. The Pachysandra. These guys have all survived their repotting just fine. Oh, they're really pretty when the sun comes through here. I mean, the morning light. Oh, is that pretty? I spent quite a bit of time getting the tomatoes in order yesterday. And there's a lot of work to be done in the vegetable garden. So, I mean, I probably spent, that's the only place I gardened yesterday. I only had about 2.5 or 3 hours yesterday, and I spent it all in the vegetable garden. I mean, there's just a lot of general maintenance to be done in here, honestly. But here's the herb bed, which is looking primo. This is bonsai basil. I think it's new from Burpee. I grew it from seed. Oh, is it pretty? Oh, is it pretty? I mean, highly recommend this as an edger for your beds. Obviously, it smells great. This is a Relief Emerald Towers, and this is, come on, Erin, where's your tag? I think this is Everleaf Lemon. So this is part of the same Everleaf series, but it's a lemon basil, and I will tell you, it smells, I don't know, I haven't actually used it on anything yet, but it sure smells like lemon. It actually smells like lemon balm to me. So I'm not quite sure what the application for that basil is yet, but it's beautiful. It grows really well. And this bed is looking good. And I've got lots of peppers coming in. Again, I've already picked a whole round of peppers. Actually, when I was gone, I gave them to the neighbors. But this is Potapino, which is supposed to be like a container jalapeno. But boy, does it do a good job. This is an ahi. I think this is ahi Colorado. Anyway, pepper. Unexplainably, the peppers are doing great. Everything else, not so much. I'm in the middle of pulling and sort of letting the onions cure. I think I showed you that. This bed is going to get planted. I think I have time to plant one more round of green beans, and I'll put in fall peas here and maybe a couple other things. Get that bed filled. I should really need to start making some bouquets because the snapdragons are all over the place. But let's take a look at the tomatoes, which You can see that yesterday, first of all, I pruned off all the diseased leaves that I could find, and there were a lot of them, to be honest, which often means from the bottom up, this is a fine time to be doing that. So you can see that I've got everything kind of nice and clear at the bottom. And you can see I like the Florida weave. That's my staking method for tomatoes. And everything is just looking very nice and neat in here and much happier. So I've got everything staked up properly, weeded, diseased leaves cut out. We've got more tomatoes over here. This one is a little bit more full just because of the varieties that are growing here. I had no big tomatoes ripen yet. In fact, there are very few tomatoes on these plants, which is a bit of a disappointment. And I did not fertilize a lot this year, so I think, I don't know, maybe I solved my own problem there. But we've been eating cherry tomatoes, but that's it. Squash is looking great. I don't even want to say it because I know like the second I say it, squash vine borer is going to come. This is patio griller zucchini, which was a plant sent to me, I think by Burpee. We tried one on the grill. It was good. It just took a lot longer to cook than I thought it was going to. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know. Everything looks good there. Knock on wood. No blooms yet from this lotus. And she has been fertilized. So, I mean, it's a good thing. This is why I like lotus. Even when they're not blooming, I think they're beautiful. Fish are doing great. Yesterday when I was working on the tomatoes, I found a small little like 1-inch hornworm. In fact, I meant to come out last night with a black light to look for more, because if there's one, there's definitely more. And I threw it in the fish tank. Those guys ate it up right away. I'm like, way to go. So anyway, I do think lotus is beautiful. I think this is why I grow lotus, because it provides height. Whereas water lilies, you know, the leaves just sit on the water, and in a small tank like this, then you wouldn't see any water. So at least it's pretty, even though it hasn't decided to bloom yet. And this is arrowhead plant. I'm sure there's a different name for it, but the flowers on it are very pretty too. Okay, cucumbers. Beans should be coming in soon here now, finally. Celery, lots of oh, here's a strawberry. It's not exactly, it's not the world's pretty, look, they're all munched a little bit. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's move over here to parts of the garden I actually haven't walked in for a whole week. Last week, I was feeling a little bit down about the garden. I'm in a much better mood now. And I think part of that is that I had a day to get into the garden, which I haven't had. So after I got done with my deadline at work, I spent an afternoon, a weekday afternoon in the garden, and it perked me right up, made me feel better about everything. Walking through here makes me feel like, oh, there was a lot of things I should be doing. One of the things that I have noticed, I kept feeling like these two beds were missing something. And the other day I realized, I think I have fully lost my polished brass eupatorium, which I had one over there and one over here, and they were huge. And they were the biggest monarch magnets in the world, and I can't find those plants. I don't remember exactly where they were in these beds, so I can't really dig around. It is bizarre to me because those plants were like 4 feet tall. I will absolutely replace those plants because that is a stunning plant. It was bred by and introduced by Brent. I mean, there's a chance it got, finish your sentence, Erin. They were bred by and introduced by Brent Horvath of Intrinsic Perennials in, I think, what is he, Hebron, Illinois or something. So great plant. There's a chance it was accidentally weeded out, but I don't know how that could have happened because the root system on those things is so huge that I don't know how that would happen. Okay, right here. Okay, yes, I know it's all over the path. Pretend you don't see that. This is Pygnanthemum muticum, which, it was just introduced, is the perennial plant of the year as named for 2025 as named by the Perennial Plant Association. I'm going to do a whole video about this, I think. I've actually, people who are members of that group know ahead of time what the next year's plant is going to be. I love this plant. People are worried. It's called mountain mint. They go mint. It's scary. That's why I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a video so you're not scared of this plant, because I don't think you should be, and I think it's amazing. We've been looking at this area quite a bit. You know, I always struggle with the astilbes. Like, do we cut the brown flowers off? Do we like the brown flowers? I think the brown flowers are better than nothing, so I usually leave them on and don't deadhead them. What will not be happening for me is spray paint. It's just not my, it's not my thing. I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying it's not pretty and it doesn't fool the eye. I'm just saying it seems very strange to me for me to be enjoying like natural flowers and then putting spray paint on them. I think I've told you for the last several videos that I need to cut this bronze fennel down. I haven't done it yet. I am going to make like an epic bouquet though, because these flowers are gorgeous in bouquets. They will smell up your house like fennel big time. The Ceslaria here is looking so good. Such a pretty grass. I just think Ceslaria is so good. Veronicastrum is starting to flower. I showed you that last week. You can see it's grown more. And here is the, so this is the globe thistle, Starfrost. This is Starfrost. I showed you it last week. Now this one is actually, so this is like before it blooms, and this is like full bloom. I think it's beautiful. A lot of people think I'm growing a thistle. It's okay. Everything else in here is looking a little, well, good, but also a little weedy. It's okay. More of that. Some agastache popping up back there. Okay, let's stroll. Let's stroll and look at some hydrangeas, because the hydrangeas are looking really nice. Oh, the other thing that's looking nice is my bottle brush buckeye is blooming. This one is blooming a little, but this one has a couple of big flowers on it, which it's been a long time and I don't think they've bloomed. Look at that amazing flower. I mean, that's what made me fall in love with this plant, is because when they get mature and they're covered in these flowers, I mean, that thing is, I don't know, 15 inches long. Beautiful. Okay, Haselo, hydrangea. Looking so, I love these flowers. So different from everything else. And I really am appreciating lace caps lately. I think they're looking, you know, they're just a nice change from the big blocky flowers that tend to be around. Bobo, it's looking, I think I've been showing you this a bit, but I mean, that is a plant that is fully covered from top. By the way, there's 5 of them mixed in this little area here, just covered in flowers. Such a good performer. This one is in, I would call this part sun, probably, because this spot, this end of this bed does get a bit shaded later in the day. These are kind of anemic incrediballs. These are incrediballs that I moved over here from elsewhere in the garden last year and divided at the same time. So not really reaching their full incrediball potential, but because they're in a transition period, but still beautiful. We can take a look at we already saw the Annabelles. Oh, I think this is Valley Tawny Dahlia. That is definitely Penn Hill Dark Monarch. This is Lakeview Peach Fuzz. So let's take a look at this limelight from this angle. This is an ancient limelight, and it's beautiful. I always will love it. Here is Waltzing Matilda. Oh, it's so sunny, it's probably hard to see that. And up here that's a very tiny Valley Porcupine dahlia flower that is going to get bigger. I've staked up the, I've staked up the thalictrum because it was really flopped over. And I mean, that ethereal cloud of those little purple flowers, so good. Let's go look at hydrangeas over here. This is Tiny Quickfire. Not a lot of flowers on it. Newly planted last year. Hopefully there's more. I just like this hydrangea because it's a front on the border. It's a tiny little thing meant for the front of the border. The hydrangea you see in the back there is Little Lime, which has never been my favorite. It's fine. I don't think it's anything spectacular. It actually looks pretty good back there. This is one as well here. And then I think I've been telling you guys this is Firelight. This is actually Quickfire with the sort of lacier flowers. This is Firelight over here. I really love this Quickfire. I don't know why I was sleeping on that hydrangea for so long. I mean, I've had it here. I just haven't ever really appreciated it as much as I do now. I think that lacier flower lends itself better to more natural plantings because it's not so like big and blocky. Here's the back view of the limelight. There's 3 limelights that are planted up there against the deck. So this is sort of the back side view of that. And this is Millennium Allium right here. I love these summer blooming alliums. And I really think that Millennium might be my favorite of them. I've got a lot of summer beauty around, and I feel like Millennium just has nicer color than Summer Beauty. I've got some calla lilies coming up. Planted those from little corms. Are those corms? Or bulbs? I think they're corms. More Haas Halo. Beacon Impatience. Resisting all of the deer and rabbit pressure, shockingly. Oh, let's just look over here too. This is a bed. I think I told you last week I got to get to this bed and it hasn't been gotten to yet. So this is Millennium Allium in the front here. And I think I did show you this. I think it's pink parasols. I think I called it something else last week. Now I'm calling it pink parasols. Echinacea. This is the opalescent phlox from Proven Winners. Whatever one is called opalescent. Very pretty. We've got some dark, I think this is a rockin', what is the sedum series from Proven Winners? This is the dark one. Very pretty. It will be better when I get it exposed a little bit more. More of those Millennium Alliums through here. And then, so this is Summer Beauty. I showed you this last week too, sorry. This is Summer Beauty and Shorty Eye Alliums growing in this bunch right here in Roy's garden. And you can see the color difference with the Millenniums. This is just, you know, this is more like light lavender to pink even. But it's pretty. And I mean, he was the one who designed this whole big area of alliums, and I think that's the way alliums look best. I think I need to work on sort of bulking up my where I have alliums growing and adding many more, or they're very easy to dividing them so that we get bigger groupings of them. This is an area I call hot mess. This bed needs some attention, but I'm going to do this in a video because I think when you look at this, you go, oh my God, like that's a big mess. That's a lot of work. And I think I can whip this bed together in shape quickly. And I want to show you in a video like how much of a difference just doing a few little things can do in a bed. Sometimes when I prune the Aurelia, I just throw the branches on the ground. Okay, oh, the foxgloves over here have all sort of flopped, but still pretty, even in their floppiness. So that's the garden right now. I don't know that there's anything else spectacular to be showing you right now. Oh, here, let's just look at this. I really think that these sedums, and I think this is neon here, and this is obviously a different one that's mixed in there. I don't think these are Autumn Joy because I'm not a big fan of Autumn Joy. I think this is when sedums look their best. I love them at this stage, when they're just I mean, you can see the buds are just barely showing the tiniest little bit of color. I think they're gorgeous like this, but that's just me. People probably think that's nuts. All right, that's the quick tour this week. I feel like a couple of things. One, I feel like the garden isn't changing. What we're seeing in the garden now are not big changes. These are just progressions from week to week, less so than what you see happening in spring. So I think these videos probably, I hope they don't get too repetitive, but it is, obviously it's a reflection of exactly what the garden is looking like right now, because that's what these videos are all about. Second of all, it's amazing what a little bit of time in the garden did for my feeling about the garden. I still feel a little overwhelmed with what needs doing, but I'm trying to enjoy it and balance summer, like summer fun stuff that I want to do, and gardening, especially in August. Like August is when I always feel like summer is waning and you better make the most of it. And so I don't just want to be gardening all the time. So hopefully, well, first of all, I am running to a nursery right now because they have a 50% off sale. So, I mean, what are you going to do? And then hopefully it's actually a nice day for paddleboarding, which I've not done yet this year. So hopefully I'm going to get out paddleboarding with my neighbor if I can talk her into going. If not, I'll go by myself, and it'll be a good day. So I hope you guys are enjoying your gardens. I hope you're enjoying your summers too, especially for people who I know have kids and stuff. Like this time gets nuts because you're getting ready for going back to school and stuff. So I hope you're able to, don't worry about the garden. Don't let the garden get in your way of having a great summer. It'll be okay. No matter what, it'll be okay. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. I am traveling this week, but I'm hoping to get some videos rolling today. So hopefully you'll have some videos to watch over the week. And we'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Oh, hey, I missed showing you something. Well, first of all, my poor serviceberry is so, so, so sad. And we have not diagnosed exactly what's happening with it. It's suffering certainly from cedar apple rust, and has for many years, and it's very hard to treat because it's huge. I also think probably bad planting practices. It is 22 years old now, or 21 years old now, or has been planted here for that long. So also, I mean, it is getting on in years, but it's a really special tree. My mother-in-law gave this to us when we moved into this house. It was the very first thing we planted here. Actually, some of her, this is probably, never mind. Anyway, it's just special. But I do grow clematis up everything, and I haven't even trained it that well this year, but this is Gravetide Beauty growing up one of these branches, and I love it. I love it so much when these, even on a half-dead tree, it keeps it looking great. I don't know what the plan is with the tree. We're certainly not doing anything drastic about this tree until there are no options left. Because one, it is such a key part of this garden. I mean, like, the whole garden was basically built around this tree. That's not a lie. It was the first thing that went in. And two, it's a special tree. I mean, whatever, this is what happens. Special trees die too. So, it'd really be a bummer if we lost this fully, but I don't know. It's been declining in health for several years now, and it's not getting better. But we do have some beauty in it because we have Gravetide Beauty clematis in it. All right, that's it.